Oh, story about the course.
About the course, related to course and assignment also, and
Okay.
my professional lives. Okay, how to my company will be grow and how to adapt to change management and how to if they will be not adopted then they will be destroyed. These
Mm-hmm.
types of stuffs.
All right. So let us wait for a minute. At least one more guy should join in, and then we'll start.
Okay, sir.
So let us have a quick recap of what we discussed last week. So Anil, can you quickly tell, if you have understood the concept of change and change management?
Just a minute, sir. I am talking my friend to join this class.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for this one. We got this thing that like if I'm an organizer and I'm a company,
Mm-hmm.
then I should adapt to change accordingly situation. Like you tell me a story about a TCS,
Mm-hmm.
ki, not a TCS, I forget about it. A company who is the manufacturing memories,
So I told about
he will
Intel.
be not Intel, Intel. So if they will be not adopted to the change, they will be destroyed. They switch or they switch to our business in a computer lines. They
Mm-hmm.
manufacturing uh, in PC and monitors, these types of stuffs. If we will be, and depend on situation, this is a good for our business or bad for business. I think so. These are both are equal. If sometime good and sometime bad also. Change management.
So the bottom line is
I have
ideally when the guy should think of a change. So they should have a problem which needs to be solved, and probably to fix that problem, they should have to change in their processes, in the strategies, in the protocols, or in the business portfolio, or like cases like this. So first of all, we must know why we want to change, and then we must strategize that change. And when we strategize that change, we must have all the questions answered. We must have communicated the strategy to seniors and juniors in the organization. And those guys, whether they are senior or junior, they must be in acceptance to your proposal. So if all these three things are done, then definitely you can move ahead with the change which you have proposed. And otherwise, if there is even a single entity not fully participating, then you are going to not get that level of success, so which you are endeavoring for. So I was thinking to discuss the assignment submitted, but none of the guys have joined so far. So so it will not make much sense to proceed next before at least three guys or four guys should be in the class so that we can proceed, or otherwise they will be missing the important part of the conversation today.
also there.
So let us have a quick recap what we had discussed last week, and then we will move ahead.
Sir,
Yeah. So last week, what we have discussed is the introduction to the change management. So we initially discussed what change management is, and we had a quick exposure to the definition of change management. Then we explained how do we do the change management, how we move from the current state to the next state, which is our future state. So in between there is a transition state, which is the most challenging episode in the change management process. This is what we understood last time. And then we had a nice story about employee suggestion box, and this story gave us a fair amount of idea, like to understand what is change management. And once this story was understood, we were in a position to understand that once we understand what the problem is, we are able to go to whatever goal is. And to achieve that goal, which is a solution to the problem, we strategize that problem solution, and we try to achieve it. But if we are moving haphazardly here and there without no goal in mind, or in other words, without no problem in mind, we are inconclusive at the end. So after having understood how to strategize the change management process, so we realize that whenever we propose any change, there is always a resistance to change. And we had given a good pause here to understand why resistance is necessary and what are the consequences of the resistance to change. And with regard to that, I had initiated a discussion thread on the portal. And if we go to the solutions or the comments which are posted by you guys, I find that there is very less participation from your side, guys. So I would like to tell you that first of all, whatever the discussion is posted on the portal, so that is meant for your understanding and further reading of the topic. If you don't participate in that, probably you will miss something, and you will not be able to exhaustively appreciate the topic which we are discussing on the air. So I had posted two discussion topics with regard to that. The first one was resistance to change, and I feel that how many guys have responded to that thread? Let me see. So I think Sufia had responded, and after then Jyoti had responded. So I only find two comments from you side, guys. But that is not complete actually. Now let us put this topic forward in this discussion itself, and I would like to know from you how you comment upon resistance to change. And first of all, please let me know what is resistance to change. What do you mean by resistance to change? I want answers from all you guys. Can you please unmute yourself or type in the discussion window one by one and comment? The first question is, what do you mean by resistance to change? And second question is, why resistance to change is required? And definitely the third question will be whether resistance to change is good or bad. Guys, can you either you type in or you unmute yourself or and give the answer. Okay, so Anil, please type in the chat window.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, yeah, Amritesh, please tell.
Good morning. Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Sir, resistance to change is sometimes we have to go from a difficulty, and that is resistance to change, sir. We oppose
No, no.
to
First question
new
is,
situations,
what
sir.
do you mean by resistance to change? Second question is, why do you want resistance to be change, resistance to change to be required? And third question is, what are the positive and negative side effects of resistance to change?
Okay.
So you have a minute to think over the question, and after 1 minute we'll continue discussion on this. So anybody has the answer in mind? Anil, so you were typing, so you stopped typing eventually. What happened?
Right now I'm typing.
Okay. So anybody has the answer, or shall I give, shall I proceed with my answer? First thing I asked was, what do you mean by resistance to change? Second question was, why resistance to change is required? Third question was,
Hello, sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir. My point is,
yeah.
yes, sir.
Tell me, Amritesh, tell me the answer.
Yes, sir. I understand by resistance to change means whenever we. Yes, sir. You are getting my voice, sir.
Yes, yes, please carry on. Go ahead.
Hello.
Carry on. I am listening. Your voice is audible. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Resistance to change means, sir, whenever we are told to put myself in a new situation,
Mm-hmm.
we resist. Sir,
Okay, so
there are
resistance to change
some
is the
technical
first
problems, sir.
level, resistance to change is the first level reaction shown by either an organization or by yourself when you are thinking of changing yourself in some aspect. So it is the first level, opposition or resistance shown by your peers for any newly proposed strategy, which is prospectively a solution to a problem. Second question is, uh, so I think Anil has written something. Let me read in the lines. So resistance to change means, suppose I am working at the blog and don't want to continue with the blog and don't want to continue with the blog. I want to change my field. So probably Anil, what you mean is you are initially a blogger and you are writing blogs on your site, and eventually you decide you don't want to write it in any case. So but the problem is you want to change because of some problem. You want to change because of some problem in mind. So you want to upgrade yourself, you want to maybe diversify yourself, or you have some goal in mind. So that is why you have stopped writing these blogs. So you should have that reason itself, which is actually a problem definition. If you that have in the mind, or if you have goal in the mind, then definitely whatever you have written is does make sense. Otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Suddenly at one point you stop writing the blogs. That doesn't make any sense. So as I told you last week in the first slide itself, that a change management is an approach which brings transitions among individuals or organizations in a way which redirect the use of resources or processes so as to reshape company or organization. So when you are thinking in these cases, you want to reshape for the betterment. When you say I stop writing the blogs, then why you will stop writing the blogs? So you should have valid reasons to that. So the first thing is, why we decide to change, we must know. When we are not able to decide why we want to change, then there is no requirement of change. because we don't know what the problem is in my mind I'm going to solve. You got what I'm saying, right? So the resistance to change is the first level opposition shown by your peers, your seniors, or the organization in a nutshell. So that is what we mean by resistance, and why we require resistance. So resistance is required so that we must create a solid buy-in for the proposed change. So buy-in means convincing others that whatever the solution I'm proposing to you, it is for the betterment, it is for the achievement of some goals with regard to the organization. So resistance is required in the sense so that we can convince others. So this convincing process is called creating a buy-in. Buy-in means making others to agree with you what you are saying in very simple terms. So Anil further says that because I want to switch myself in affiliated marketing and my career in this field. So this is a transition. You should have a strategy in mind, Anil. So how will you proceed? What are your first level goals? What are your next level of goals? And so on and so forth. And these goals should be quantitatively and qualitatively measurable. If you cannot measure your goals, you should be lost in the waters, you know. Now, what are the pros and cons of resistance to change? So pros is you are able to create a solid buy-in. So when you are able to create a buy-in, everything is with you, whether the people or the processes. The negative is when you don't know what you want to do, and people are necessarily and people are opposing you because you don't have a problem in mind, you don't have a solution in mind, and there is a solid resistance posed by your peers. In that case, whatever the resistance shown is bad for you, it is bad for the organization also. So last week we have discussed that we have to follow the path of resistance. We have to show to the organization that we have a problem, and the organization should agree on to the problem. Whatever the solution you are proposing, they should agree on to the direction of the solution, and you should have the proper solution details in mind as well, and you should communicate that solution among the peers or among the seniors. And finally, you should neutralize the negative side effects of the solution, uh, uh, and then whatever the implementation obstacles you have fix for them as well. And once these 5 steps, which are the steps for creating a buy-in, are implemented properly, then and only then you can ensure full team commitment. And with regard to answers which you guys have posted on the portal, Sufia had told that it is both good as well as bad. So she says if there is something new for the technology, then resistance for change is not good. But if something hurting your corporate and culture, then it is good. So probably this is what I was not expecting from you guys. I was expecting an answer with regard to change management topic, the impact of resistance of the proposed change to the proposed change, and how do we make this resistance to create a solid buy-in. So this is what I was expecting, but she has just written off the shelf, which probably makes less sense. So I think guys, you need to do some study at your home as well. So just relying on the discussion and you are not doing any homework, so you will not be able to appreciate the topic itself. So Jyoti had written resistance to change is always good, because when we are going to change anything, resistance is always come, because it naturally brings it natural things, but after resistance when change come, it's always good. I really don't understand what you're trying to write, Jyoti. If you are here, can you please explain? I think Jyoti is not there. So guys, you should daily read the newspaper also, so that your English will be improved, because when you are stitching in the words, sometimes words are irregularly stitched together, which sometimes make no sense at all. So you guys daily should read the newspaper, English newspaper. Pick any newspaper, read one article, and try to understand the vocabulary and sentence formation, which probably you are lacking in. Do you guys agree with this? So do you guys agree? If you are not able to speak, please type in the chat window so that I will be notified that you guys are with me. Okay, great. So make a habit of daily reading an English newspaper article. Yeah, who is speaking? Okay, the second discussion thread which I posted was employee participation in change management. So I got only one reply. So guys, if you guys are not participative, then probably I will make these discussion threads to be involved in the marking process. So you should Google enough. You should Google enough for various things which you will find in the change management course, and you should have a book at your place or from the library so that you can read through. And if you have any problems or any inputs required from my side, you should immediately let me know. But your participation is should be 100%. It should not be like that only one guy is responding and other guys are simply ignoring it. Okay, so how you guys comment upon employee participation in change management? Either you type in the chat window or speak up. So employee participation in change management. So how you ensure that change management is complete with employee participation? So the topic is employee participation in change management. So I will write here for you. So the topic is employee
employee
participation
participation.
in change management. Any inputs to this? No, it's not. It should not be give ideas. So employee participation means as you are seeing these 6 steps for creating a solid buy-in. You agree on a problem, you agree on the direction of a solution, you work out the solution details, you neutralize the side effects, you overcome the implementation obstacles and ensure full team commitment. So step number 6 signifies the employee participation. If all the employees are participating for whatever the strategy for a change you have proposed, then and only then you can ensure full team commitment. So this point number 6 is mapped to this statement, employee participation in change management. Only one guy, Jyoti, had replied for this discussion thread. So she says that lack of employee involvement in the change management process is major setback for organization because employee is the main key of the organization for running business. So company cannot do any change without employee involvement. She is perfectly all right because company and employees are the two faces of a single coin in an organization. Well written, Jyoti. So unless employees do so, probably she has missed a word here, eagerness or involvement in the company changes, an organization cannot achieve any outcome. So well written, Jyoti. So this is what I try to say. So if employees don't agree to the proposed change strategy, then company cannot achieve anything which it is trying to achieve with regard to that proposed change. Do you guys agree with this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Others, if you cannot speak, please write in the chat window so that I can make sure that you guys are with me. Yeah. Thank you. Uh, I would like to show you a video. So I found this video, good enough. So with regard to the topic change management and how to create a buy-in. So this is called, I will write here, this is called Kotter's 8-step model. So you should, Google enough to understand the Kotter's model. So what does it say? So to discuss this in the session, so I will show you a video. So just give me a moment so that I can share it. Can you see the video screen? Can you see the screen? Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
So I will play the video for you. Can you hear the voice also?
No, sir, we are not getting any voice, sir.
Okay, just hold on. Can you hear the voice now?
No, sir.
Okay. So I'm sharing the link with you. Please play at your end. And it's a 9 minutes video. And once you are done, we'll discuss. So all guys have got the link. Okay, so please play at your end, and I'm also playing at my end, so that we are in sync. And once I'm done, we'll discuss this. Okay. So guys, all the guys have done with the PPT? Let me know if all you guys have done. Okay. So guys, shall we start the discussion? Okay. So you should tell me one by one, what did you understand from this video? Please tell me what did you understand from this video? So this video tells about the Kotter's 8-step model for the change management, and it also gives you sufficient foundation to create a buy-in for the proposed change. So actually these are the similar things which we discussed in these 6 steps. There was a guy called Cotter who proposed his own 8-step strategy for change management. It is one and the same thing, but I would like to know from you guys, what did you understood from the video? Either you type in the chat window or you can speak up. So what is this video about? Anil, can you speak up please? Anil, Anshul, Gaurav.
Sir, I am typing.
Okay. Other guys, can you please speak up? So this video is about a hospital. So in the hospital, all the work is done manually before this change is proposed up. And you're right, Gaurav, they were trying to change the system of the medical, this system of the hospital actually. So all the work was done manually. If a patient used to get admitted to the hospital, so the entry, data keeping, any medicine prescription, or doctor's coordination, everything was done manually. There was no computer being incorporated. There was no IT equipment was used, and since everything was manual, the process was slow. So the senior fellows of the hospital, they came to know that they can automate the process, and by doing so they can enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of the employee work or the systems in the hospital. So the head of the hospital, they called upon a meeting, and they discuss about all this. So Anil says that I learned from this video that all work done by computerized and digital way and IT. Uh, what are you saying? Work done by the computerized and digital way and IT system. They are implementing the technology because they were keeping records manually. You are right, Gaurav. So what they did is, so they called upon a meeting, and they followed in the meeting the Kotter's 8-step model. The first thing which they did was they created a situation of urgency. So urgency means they highlighted the problem, and they uh, you know, reflected the problem in a way that the implementing of the solution was required to be immediately done. So, so when they created the urgency, so the doctor said that the CEO of the hospital said that in the video that IT is booming and we are still way behind because we have not automated the hospital system. And if we do it right now, so our profit, our efficiency, our work culture, it will improve many folds. So the quarter's first step is you have to create the urgency of the situation by hitting on the problem straightforwardly, head to head. So when you create that urgency, so this step one which we have put in the slides, that agree on a problem, so that is mapped. Then once you have created the urgency, so the problem should be approved by the influential people in your organization. So the step two of the quarters model says form a powerful coalition. So whatever the problem you discussed among other peers in the meeting, so you try to influence the senior people or the influential people of the organization, in this context the senior doctors, and you have to make a powerful coalition so that they agree to your agree to the proposal which you have put forward in the meeting. Once you have done this, so the influential people are on your side, and then you have to create a vision for change. So this is the quarter's third step. So the first step is, I will write here for your sake, so we have to create the urgency. Second thing what we have to do is form a powerful coalition. Third step what we have to do is probably my screen is not shared. I will share it for you. So the third step which we have to do is create a vision for the change. So when I say create a vision of the for the change, so this means that we have to intimate to the senior people or to the responsible people in the organization that what is the vision or what is the goal which we are trying to achieve from that change. So in this case, can you guys tell me, coalition means we have to bring the people on our side. Coalition means to bring the people onto our side by influencing them. So in very generic terms, coalition means you have to create a homogeneous group so that all the people or majority of the people stand by your side. Does that make sense, Gaurav? So the third thing is we have to create a vision for the change. So when we are creating a vision for the change, can you guys tell me what vision they had proposed in the discussion with regard to this video? So what vision they had proposed in the video? You tell me, I will write here. So what vision they had thought of in the video? Guys, come up, man. Come up with answers. So what vision they had created in the video? So what they had envisioned is, it's not change actually. So they wanted to increase the organization quality by reducing the medical errors. So when you say by reducing the medical errors, so this means that every detail about the patient is handled manually. They are entered into the records manually on papers. So when you write on the paper everything by hand, so there is a chance of making or posting errors. So when you do using a computerized mechanism, So the probability of getting errors is reduced. So this is one thing which they wanted to achieve. Second thing is, what they wanted to do is they wanted to facilitate doctors in decision making by removing obstacles. So what were the obstacles? Let us say if a doctor wants to do something, he needs to write a memo when there were no IT and all that stuff. So any information to be given to your colleagues or seniors or juniors. So the idea was memo writing. So but when the IT came into picture, so this memo writing was replaced by emails or mobiles or things like that, means IT impact. So when so they thought of facilitating the doctors and decision making by incorporating the IT equipment. So what obstacles were in the way? So the obstacles were delayed communication. So because of delayed communication, doctors were not able to decide upon the things. So this is second thing which they wanted to do. Third thing they wanted to do is they wanted to equip the doctors with high-end software which would help them in keeping their personal information, in deciding upon the things fast. And third thing is proper scheduling of the things by using that software. So high-end software, or I will simply write efficient usage of software. Efficient usage of software for medical use. So this is the third thing which they have envisioned. So these are the a few set of things which they created as a vision for change. Now after then, the next step in the quarters model is, so whatever they had envisioned, they should communicate it to the peers. So this is the next thing as per the quarters model. Communicate the vision. So when you communicate the vision, so this means that you have to tell to all employees about this. So how you communicate it? You communicate it by calling all the employees in a meeting and tell them this is what we are going to do in a positive way, so that the employees will be willing to change. Does that make sense to you guys? And when you are communicating the things to employees asked so many things. For example, there was a clipping when the doctor was talking to a nurse. A nurse said that, so that is good that you're incorporating the change, but what about our jobs? She was afraid. She replied that your jobs will be safe and you will become more efficient in patient handling. So communicate the vision. So when you communicate the vision, so what you are doing is you are actually executing step 4, step 5, and finally step 6. And this is mapped to with regard to the quarters model as another heading, communicate the vision. You are communicating the vision among employees. The next thing, which was remove obstacles. So when you are implementing a new change, definitely there will be obstacles in your way which you need to remove. So obstacle is also part of resistance to the proposed change. So what were the obstacles in this video for the change? Can anyone say or tell or type in the chat window? What were the obstacles seen in this video? whiteboard, how it was an obstacle? Anil, can you explain how it was an obstacle? I cannot hear you, Anil. Okay. So the obstacle was, so one of the guys said that the software is too expensive. The software which they have to use is too expensive. Second guy said that training is costly. This is an obstacle to change. How will you handle? Yes, Gaurav, employee was worried about the job. That is a fear, and that was communicated in by the doctor to that nurse that don't worry, your jobs will be safe. The implementation obstacles were expensive software. Someone said training is costly, and someone gave a solution that proper scheduling will be done with expert training. So they said that we'll hire a proper expert, that training is done once for all. Someone said software is too expensive. He said that we'll find the best quality software which is cheap and best. So these are the implementation obstacles. So once you have removed these implementation obstacles, so this is what we mean by step number 5 here, overcome the implementation obstacles. So in implementing the medical software in the hospital, so there were very fundamental bottlenecks like expensive software or costly training, or you can say like the program is the system is not up to the mark. So you need to have a very efficient software system. So these are the implementation obstacles. So can you guys think out of the box, and you can think of any other obstacle, since hospital is very big. So what other obstacles apart from expensive software or training? What else you can think of, you have heard of in the video? We can say that setting up of LAN, local area network, in the hospital is a challenge, because let's say the hospital has 25 floors, and every floor is having some or the other equipment stuff, or patients are there, or like that. So every floor requires, let us say, 2-3 computer systems, and the requirement is, let us say, the computer systems must be connected properly via local area network. So there can be a challenge that setting up of LAN is a problem. So this is another implementation obstacle, so which tends to be removed. So once all these obstacles are removed, the next thing will be, with regard to Kotter's model, is create short-term wins. So this means that you need to encourage the employees that you should adapt to this training, so this IT stuff with 100% efficiency, and any employee who adjusts to this new change more quickly will be given incentives. So this is a short-term win. Who adjusts to this new change will be given incentives. So this is how we are incentivizing the change in management. So when more and more employees quickly learn this new system, so this will be a short-term win. And this is another milestone in the Kotter's model. Do you guys agree with this? So converting manual record to computerized, what do you mean by this, Gaurav? I didn't get it. This is with regard to which step? Okay. Yeah, that is another obstacle. So you have, because there will be lot of uh, mm, records in the hospital which are paperwork. So that will also be required to put in a computer system. So that is another implementation obstacle. And to overcome that implementation obstacle, the solution will be either you can scan the papers, or you can depute the clerical staff so that they can type in the stuff, or there will be multiple ways of doing the things. And as per the hospital, so they have to decide which one is the best suited solution for them, and accordingly, by doing so, they will overcome that obstacle. So once you have removed all these obstacles, so you have to create short-term wins. So short-term wins are the things which are nothing but baby steps in the change implementation. So the first baby step will be all the employees have learned the IT skills. They know how to operate computer. They know how to upload details in the XLS documents. They know how to take printouts. They know how to send in emails. So these are the things which are the short-term wins for that proposed change strategy. So, and if you want to make the things fast, we can encourage the employees to to learn these things quickly by incentivizing them. So the next step in the quarters model is build on the change. So what do you mean by build on the change? So this was explained in the video also. What do you mean by build on the change? Right, set goals. What else? So build on the change means now your system is implemented, things are working fine, employees and the doctors know how to work on the new system. Now you have to upgrade the system. Now in order to upgrade the system, you should know how to, what are the shortcomings of the existing system. For example, in this video, they discussed, someone put forward a point like program is slow and complicated. So the solution he gave is contact the supplier with new version, right? So someone told that some employees have low computer skills. So this means that all of the employees have not understood the IT stuff. Some employees have low computer skills. Now how to solve this? Solve this by providing extra training to the employees who are lagging in it. Anil says analyze what went right and need to improve. Yeah. So Anil, can you tell one point with regard to this? What went right or what could have gone wrong?
Like sir, you are mention a lack of knowledge about the computer systems, these types of stuff.
So that is done in the removing obstacles step. So we have proposed training to all the employees, and now they know about the system, and they have done self-learning as well, and we have incentivized the employees by creating short-term wins so that employees adjust to the change more quickly. So once these two steps are realized, then then we need to think what is left behind which needs to be improved in this step. For example, we can say that the existing local area network, which is actually connecting all the computers via copper wires, they can be replaced by optical wires, because optical wires or optical fibers are more efficient. Or let us say the internet connection they were having, that was a wired connection initially, then later on they proposed a radio link connection, which is more fast. So we have to build upon the change like this. We have to analyze the shortcomings, and once we analyze the shortcomings, we have to attack those shortcomings so that our change implemented is more efficient. So once we are done with this, the next step is the anchor the change. So what do you mean by anchor the change? Any idea? So that was the last step shown in the video. So anchor the change, corporate culture. What you guys mean with this? So anchoring the change in corporate culture means whatever you have created as a new strategy or new implementation, you have successfully built upon that. You have attacked all the shortcomings. Now this should become a common thing in the organization or a common thing in the hospital in this example. So when the change becomes common to all, it becomes a culture, and it is no longer a challenge to be accepted. So this is the last step of the quarters model. So just to recap, so what we need to do is we need to create urgency. We need to form a powerful coalition. We need to, first of all, we need to create a problem, and we will say that this problem should be implemented ASAP, as soon as possible. Then we need to make coalition with our, colleagues or peers. Then we have to create a vision for the change, why we want to change. Then we have to communicate the vision, means we have to tell to all the employees in an efficient way so that they will not be afraid of accepting the change. Then we need to remove the obstacles like expensive software or costly training or setting up of LAN. Then we need to create short-term wins. In this context, we need to incentivize the employees so that they accept the change as soon as possible. Then once the change has been implemented, we need to build upon the change. So that is, we need to attack the shortcomings which we are left behind. And finally, we should involve this change, inculcate this change as a corporate culture, so that if any new employee joins, he should be given first this training, and then he will be given some work to be done. So this is what the quarters K8 model, so which I try to explain you with a video. Hope you guys are clear with this. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Okay, great. So in the assignments, I can ask you to submit a case study which is as per the quarters model. So you should be 100% clear with this. So quarters K8 model, it is, it is a good model to create a buy-in. But theoretically speaking, when you are creating a buy-in, so whether you are a part of an organization or you are working for yourself for a change, you need to introspect a lot before proposing. So Anil, what do you mean by 80%? If you're left with something, please let me know. Anil, please ask question if you have any doubts.
Sir, not right now, but after revision I can get 20%.
All right. So you have no questions as of now.
No, sir. No.
Okay, great. So you can anytime drop me an email or ask me whatever the way you want, and I will try to answer the questions as soon as possible. So I will share with you another PPT. Where is this presentation one? This one. Now, last week we had left here. Now from here we have moved forward and understood the Kotter's model. So Kotter's model actually tries to attack this, change management 6-step process which we have told you. Now, moving ahead and creating a buy-in. So there are some 2-3 points which I want to tell you so that you should be able to digest the topic more easily. So when you are creating a buy-in, so you need to ask yourself these 3-4 questions. First of all, how do you position the value of the change management in the right context so that it gets the priority it needs? So when we saw the video, we found that we have created a sense of urgency. So when you create a sense of urgency with regard to the problem, then whatever you are speaking, that automatically gets priority. Do you agree with this? With regard to point one, what I'm trying to say is when you create a sense of urgency, then your proposal will automatically get priority. Do you agree with this? So what I'm trying to say is whatever the change management strategy you are proposing, when you create an urgency of the situation like this, Kotter's model, create urgency. So what do you mean by this? So whatever you are proposing, you are saying that it is very urgent to be implemented. So when you say that it is very urgent to be implemented, you automatically get the priority for the implementation of the proposed change. Do you guys agree? Right. So this is how you have to put the proposal in the right context. Second point is think about what you describe when you make the case for the change management. How the change management is viewed by your project leaders. So you have to tell the leaders what they want to listen. Normally, the leaders, project leaders or company managers want to listen about revenue, profit, work efficiency, all these things. So do you spend the conversation talking about change management activities like communication or training, or do you focus on change management's contribution to overall project results and outcomes? These are the things which your bosses want to listen. Your bosses want to listen about change management's contribution to overall project results and outcomes. So whatever you are doing, whether by doing so the project gets success or the project earns more profit, then and only then your bosses will listen to you. If they don't, if you don't say all these things to your bosses, they will simply ignore it. This is what you have to say to your bosses. So the last point is you might be surprised to learn that key to discussing change management's value sometimes means not talking about the change management at all. At least not first. So to position the change management as a priority, you have to start first with what senior leaders and project leaders care about. So whenever you are suggesting something to organizations bosses, so how do we start saying this? So we have to tell that if we do so, our organization will get 1 billion extra revenue. Or you can say that if we do so, then the customer satisfaction will increase. For example, let us say there is a company called Samsung. In Noida, there is Samsung India Electronics Limited. So they have recently started the manufacturing facility in special economic zone in Noida. Now what they are doing, they are assembling various ICs, So they are assembling various ICs, and then they are packaging it, and then they are shipping it to the local market. But whatever the mobiles they are assembling in the Noida center, so there is a there is no call center being set up to listen to the customer complaints. Now when you say to the Samsung bosses, for example, that if we set up a call center in Noida or NCR area, then the customer satisfaction will increase, and hence the organization's effectiveness will also be increased. So when we say this with regard to the organization or in context of the organization, then your bosses will listen to you and give weight and priority to what you say. And once your bosses start listening to you, then we are on the path of creating a successful buy-in. And when you say that this has to be done as soon as possible, then this is how you are creating urgency of the situation. Now, in order to capture most of the project's organization's objectives, one can introspect using these 5 questions. As I told, what is the project trying to achieve? If you don't know what you are trying to achieve, you cannot measure the effectiveness of the project. Makes sense, right? And what are the benefits organization going to get out of this? And these benefits, for example, should be increasing revenue, or achieving compliance with the regulations, or increasing customer satisfaction. Makes sense, right? Any questions, guys, as of now? Okay, great. The third question you should ask from yourself: what are the specific objectives of this project or product? So these are the outcomes of the projects which must be measurable. For example, customer response time should be shortened from 3 to 2 days. Let us say you are proposing a change or a new strategy using which the customer response time will be reduced. So whatever you are proposing, you should be able to measure it. Let us say from 3 days to 2 days. Okay. So increase the font size. Okay. Is it okay now? So what I was trying to say is whatever you are proposing, that should be measurable. And what portion of this benefit depends on adoption and usage. So with regard to quarters model, whatever you are proposing, so that should be easily adoptable and usable. So this means that some projects have very low dependency on people adoption and usage for their objectives, because the change is primarily technical in nature. For example, let us say you have a server which is used by all the employees in the organization, and someone proposes that if you increase server's memory, so systems will hang at a lesser rate. So this means that so this change has nothing to do with adoption and usage. On the other hand, many projects have a high level of dependency on people adoption and usage. For example, streamlined communication. So when you say streamlined communication, so this means a proper emailing mechanism, for instance. and it will depend highly on the people who need to adopt the new communication practices actually doing their job differently. So you need to think what is the level of adoption, what is the level of usage for the proposed change by the employees of the organization. And you should also be in a position to identify that what is the percentage this benefit will be get if no one changes how they do their job. You should also be in a position to estimate that if no one agrees for that change with regard to employees, then what will be the level of benefit. So it actually boils down to the fact that how much people dependent this project is, and there will be a very little benefit if no one adopts the solution. So the bottom line is people should adopt to the solution, and ideally and gradually people adopt for the proposed solution if it is approved. So now if you have answered all these questions, then you have a painted rough picture which will tell you how much benefit we'll get out of from this project, and is reliant to or reliant on people changing how do their work. And this conversation with yourself first is required to help people realize that in order to achieve expected benefits, they have to drive the adoption and usage. So these questions, first of all, you should answer yourself before talking to anyone. And once you have answered these questions yourself, then you should tell all these things among your organization colleagues so that they agree to this. So these are not any guidelines, so these are just questions for your help, for your sake, when you are proposing any change in an organization. So if you create, and these are helpful in creating a proper buy-in. So now you should remember two key takeaways from this discussion. Now to create a solid buy-in, you should follow the quarters model, and probably you can answer these questions or put the answers of these questions in your presentation so that everyone is on your side for the proposed change. How many guys have a problem with this presentation? So with these questions, please ask any questions if you have. Any questions so far, guys? Okay, great. So with this, I think you have now understood that what change management is, what are the impediments to the change management, what are the strategies we implement the change management, how do we create a buy-in. Question 5. Okay, let me go to the question. So first one is what is the project trying to achieve? I think that is clear. Second is what are the organization benefits. Third thing is what are the specific objectives. Fourth is what portion of this benefit depends upon adoption and usage. And the last question was what percentage this benefit will we get if no one changes how they do their job. So this is a question to it is for yourself actually, that if no one changes what will happen. Ideally, whenever you are proposing a change, it is never the case that no one changes, but you should be in a position to answer yourself if no one changes what you will do. You got my point, right? So in reality, it's unlikely that no one will change their behavior at all. But however, by asking the question, what if no one changes, you can cement how important driving the people side of the change is to the project. So actually this is a challenge to you. So you should be fully ready to face such a situation. Ideally it is not practical. Ideally this is never the case that no one agrees to you. And this gives you a starting point or baseline for how you can increase the percentage of benefits, you know, how you can increase the percentage of benefits you will be capturing by increasing the option and usage by applying change management. So you can start saying that if no one changes, this is the benefit. If 10% of the people changes, this is the benefit. If 50% of the people change, this is the benefit. If 80% of the people change, this is the benefit. And if 90% of the people change, this is the benefit we'll be getting out of the project. And if 100% people change, this is the benefit we are getting out of the project. So this question can be understood in a reverse way. So you can start saying that if no one changes, this is where we are at this stage. And if 10% of the people change, we'll rise up in the benefit curve. And if 20% of the people change, then this is how we rise up in the benefit curve. So this is for the demonstration purposes. You can answer saying that as people start accepting the change, we will grow in terms of so and so profitability. Does that make sense? Gaurav, question number 5 is okay to you now? Okay, great. So this is how we can create a solid buy-in. Uh, Probably I can move it to the next slide. So now once you have answered all these questions, then there is a rough picture in your mind which automatically comes, which will help you in projecting your proposed change to the senior management or to the people in the organization with a higher level of confidence. So this is what I conclude from the set of introspective questions. Makes sense, right? So guys, one more thing I would like to discuss with you, that you have many of you have not submitted the assignment. Although the date is over, I can extend the date if you can submit within a day or two. The first assignment is pending at your end. So because like Kiran, I don't know, he has also not attended neither today's class or the previous class. Vineet is also not there. I have not seen him. And Anil says that he will submit the assignment by today. Mhm. And Gaurav has also not submitted. Shiva Jyoti, she came, joined in today and then went back. Aditya I have never seen in the class. So I don't know how you guys are taking this course, but and someone told that they want the assignment submission date to be extended. So is it with you guys also? Have you understood the problem? Assignment problem, have you understood, or you want me to discuss that? Okay, so I will open that core problem. Just give me a second and we'll discuss. So where is the core problem of assignment one? Okay, so I'm just opening the assignment. Give me a second, please. because other the second assignment is based on this assignment completion. If you are not able to do this assignment properly, then second assignment you will not be able to do properly. So this is the core problem, change management core problem 1. So what you have to do in this, so you have to please identify the situation in your work that requires you to bring about a change. It could be a change in a process, strategy, office location, or or office location or anything that has huge impact on the functioning of your team, group or organization. Ideally, the situation described should be something which is current or is planned in near future. But if such an example is not available, it could be something that you are currently dealing with that you would like to explore hypothetically or is aspirational for you. So you have to identify a situation which requires change. So this is what this problem says. And then you have to follow either Cotter's model or the 6-step model which we discussed in the session to implement that change. If you're able to do so, then this assignment seems to be implemented. And then you have to give the background of the information. You have to specify your email ID. If you're working in any organization, you have to mm, tell that, and you have to give the background of the situation. You have to describe the proposed change with regard to that, what change you are proposing. Then you have to tell the key stakeholders. For example, when you are proposing a change, you should propose a change to the key stakeholders. For example, let us say you can take a hospital example which we have seen today, that we want to automate the functioning of the hospital system using IT equipment. Then who are the key stakeholders in that? They will be the management staff and the senior most bosses, because senior most fellows will budget that and admin staff will implement that. Or let us say you want to coming back to our first example which we told for that Intel started from memory to processor business. Then this is a proposed change. Then who are the key stakeholders for that proposed change? So the key stakeholders are definitely number one, the HR, who have to hire the people who have the relevant skill set. Whether they're agreeing to it, so they should say yes or no. So that is a key stakeholder. Second thing is this, the finance department, whether they have sufficient budget for that change. That is a key stakeholder. Third thing is the CEO, whether he is willing to change the company's strategy or company's product portfolio or not. Third thing is a product manager who is responsible for marketing that product. Whether he is agreeing to it or not, he is a key stakeholder. So these key stakeholders will be the decision makers, influence and potential blockers. Potential blockers in this context will be the product manager. He can say that I don't have any strategy for this change. So I'm not agreeing to this change in the product strategy. So he's a potential blocker, and you have to identify those potential blockers, decision makers and influencers for whatever the proposed change which we have given in the previous slide. Once you have listed all those stakeholders, then you have to explain what you want from those stakeholders so that they agree to what you propose. So you have to fill in all those details here. So what you want from them? So they should be able to, you should be able to you know put forward in this slide. So let us say, for example, from you go to the product manager and you tell him that, yes boss, I want to change, I want to propose a change which will give a company a new vision with regard to new product. And product manager will say, I don't have any strategy to market that product. So this is an implementation obstacle. You can say that, okay, if you don't have any strategy, I can give you a solution to this. We can make use of the existing strategy, and you can make here and there minor changes, and you can go with the existing strategy as per plan. So this is how you will convince him. So what do you want from him? Actually, you want from him that your change will be should be accepted by him in so and so way. So so guys, you have to fill in all these slides and then submit. Any questions you want to ask with regard to this assignment? You guys with me? Any questions? Please ask. Okay, great. And please inform to all your classmates that participation is must, because if you don't participate, you lose out the important stuff. So please participate, because this will have an interactive session. You all guys will participate and enjoy the session. If only 3-4 guys come and you don't participate effectively, then this session will have less impact with regard to your understanding. So please tell it to all that they should come and participate in the class. Don't miss the classes. So what I will do for the coming week is I will post few more discussion topics. The one similar to the ones which I posted for the first week, and I expect from you guys that you should answer or at least give a single line comment what you understand from them. So this will enhance your understanding with regard to change management. Number one. Number two, please submit this assignment on time this time, because there will be no further extensions to the assignment. And once you are done with this, there is another assignment coming down the line, and you have to efficiently complete all these assignments. Otherwise I will not be in a position to give you good grades. And second thing is, these assignments will be equivalent to your case studies for the course. If you are able to do the case studies effectively and efficiently, then and only then you can understand the concept. Otherwise your grades will be affected. So I have not shared the core problem 2 as of now, because majority of the guys have not submitted the core problem 1. So based on if you submit it within this week, definitely we will I will share with you the second core problem. Or if you want upfront, I can uh, I can share right now. So guys, any questions for today's discussion? So there is another video for quarters model. I'm just sharing with you. It's a 5-minute video. Just have a look at this, and and then we'll wind up. There is a nice video which I found. Please have a look at this. I'm sharing this with you on the screen itself. So this is a 5-minute video. Just have a look at this. So guys, you are done with the video? Okay. So just to recap for today's session, so what we have learned is we have understood the resistance to change and how to create buy-in. So we have seen two videos for that to create a solid buy-in. So it's just a recap of what we had seen in the first video. So this video is just briefed about Cotter's steps. In the first video, there was a case study of the hospital. So, but in this, it just briefed about the steps of the Cotter's eight-step model. So you can refer to the video again whenever you want to have a recap of today's session. And finally, we had a discussion on how to introspect yourself before proposing a change outside. So we had, I had outlined 5 questions which you should ask yourself before answering it outside to the public. So this will help you to have a better, presentation to the outside public if you are able to introspect yourself for those changes. So this is what we have understood in today's session, and I hope you are able to appreciate this session. And you can refer to the video. I will upload it soon after the end of this. If you want, if you have any doubts or if you have any questions. And apart from this, if you still have questions or concerns, please free to ask me anytime whenever you wish. Any questions so far, guys, before we wind up? Okay, great. Thanks, guys, for joining. And we see you next week, same time. Till then, please submit the assignments and please go through the material and come back to me for any concerns. Thank you.